New York Times bestselling author, teacher, advocate, and husband of former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is out with a new children's book. The picture book called Papa's Coming Home follows the tale of unconditional love as readers see the two husbands, their two children, Gus and Penelope, and rescue dog as they build unforgettable moments and memories together. Chasten Buttigieg, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We really enjoy the book. I just thought right off the bat, this has to be so similar to your real life family, right? I mean, how much of this is ripped from the pages of everyday life in the Buttigieg household?
Some of it. Obviously, like any parent knows, when you're reading picture books, you sort of get annoyed with the fictionalization of parenting, right? Like the parents from Bluey always make it seem super easy. So, you know, I'm not always baking 7-layer cakes and picking flowers in the garden, but I mean, this is a message of love and excitement and creativity in the home. But the chaos is definitely the thing that carries through.
I was reading one quote where it talked about how family isn't a lesson or an issue, but a given. And how this book really does normalize the idea of two dads. It's not trying to explain it or tell the story of that. It's really just about dad's coming home and we're excited and let's bake that 7-layer cake and let's make sure he has all his favorite things in the car.
Yeah, they're just there. You know, it's never mentioned, but I think that's really great. It provides an opportunity for folks to see a family like ours, maybe like a window into our life. And it also provides a mirror for families like ours to finally have a book that looks like their family. So I really hope that it's a useful tool for both types of families. One, maybe to just see a different type of family, and for families like ours, to add one book to the collection that finally has some representation.
And of course, you're a New York Times bestselling author with regard to your memoir, I Have Something to Tell You, not just for adults, but also YA as well. What made you decide, you know, I'm going to take a little venture into children's picture books?
Well, this actually was sort of born out of a frustration that we didn't have a lot of children's books like this. When our kids were born, I started looking around for books that featured a family like ours. I didn't want difference to be upfront. I just wanted a funny day in the life story of a family that looked like ours, and I was coming up short. So I started writing them. And this is the story that really stuck. And I actually wrote this one on an airplane coming home from a work trip and thinking about how excited our kids might be to welcome me home. And what a universal feeling that so many families go through. Somebody's away on a trip, a parent is gone, and you can't wait to have them back home.
As you know, there are a number of LGBTQ themed books that are being banned in a number of states. Did that play a role at all in your process when you were deciding, I'm going to write a book about two dads?
It didn't, no. I wanted to write a book that looked like my family, and it was a great opportunity for my kids to see themselves in this book. But I also think this will be a useful tool for every family. At the core of this book is a message about unconditional love. The papa is coming home. The kids are so excited to welcome him home. They bake him the cake, they pick him the flowers, and they think that he will have missed all of these things, all this stuff. But in the end of the book, when he comes home, he says, that's really sweet. I love all this stuff. You know, I love coming home to my books and my model airplane and all the flowers in the garden. But the best part about coming home is you. It's this message about love over material things, that unconditional love is what makes a home, and a family. And I think that is a story that every family can enjoy.
And what did your kids think when they finally saw the finished product and saw these kids who kind of look like them?
Yeah, I mean, Dan Taylor, the illustrator, did such a beautiful job. The first time I opened the PDF of some of the mock-ups, Penelope, my daughter, ran up to the kitchen table, and right away she said, that's me, that's Gus, that's Papa, that's Dad. And what a special feeling to know that your daughter sees herself reflected in the pages of the book. So I'm really proud of Dan and the work that he did.
Give us a sense. I know now you guys are living in Michigan.
That's right.
The swing state of Michigan. I'm wondering if there's any politics at all on the horizon, you think?
No, I grew up in northern Michigan, and it was really important to us to be closer to the family. As anybody with young children can tell you, it really does take a village. So grateful to be living down the road from my parents in a very supportive and beautiful community in northern Michigan. You know, I'm not focused on his career at this point. You know, I'm very proud of him. I think he's doing great work, but it is so nice to just be home with friends and family and focused on being good dads.
We can all relate to that. Chasten, thank you so much for coming on the show. And you can purchase Papa's Coming Home wherever books are sold.